I wish it were as easy to stop hating as it was to start.
What's up, lore masters? This breakdown will be another high-level analysis with the promise that one day I'll be a bit more focused on the minutia and lore in another video. I'm honestly finding myself in an interesting position these days. I do stand by and believe wholeheartedly that overall, Voyager is one of the weakest series in Trek. However, I think if I was going to be suggesting episodes to a Trekkie on either side of the aisle, or one who has strong opinions, the episodes I'd be suggesting for them to watch would include at least one DS9, one TNG, and 2 Voyager. Specifically DS9's Bell Riots, TNG's Measure of a Man, and Voyager's Countdown, and, well, this episode, Demons. I won't get into the intricacies of the plot, but high level, it's pretty simple. Chakotay crash lands, he finds a people who are in a war that have an ear-grating way of describing events.
His glimpse is too tame to be a Kraden. We'll fathom it now. Weren't you drilled to fathom the Nemesis? They're new to the clash and glimpse the Nemesis all around them. It wouldn't be sharp to return to the trunks.
At first is resistant to helping them with what's going on, doesn't really want to join their fight, but he's slowly taught that the enemy they are fighting, the Nemesis as they call them, are enemies beyond compare. Throughout the story, he's told only one side, sees events from only one point of view, and ultimately begins to hate the enemy, or again Nemesis, as they are called. In the end, we discover that the people he's been helping may not be the good guys. It's even more poignant when you realize the ones that look like Chakotay, the ones that he's been with, may actually be evil. And the saviors, the ones who might possibly be trying to stop all this, are the ones that look like what nightmares are made of.
Have I said something wrong?
The story itself does have some logical and continuity concerns, but again, I'm not going to be focusing or worrying about that for this episode. Let's get into what we will be talking about. From a high-level perspective, I absolutely love this episode. I love it because it perfectly shows how echo chambers and only seeing one side of a story can make a reasonable person much worse. Ironic given how many well-known fans of Trek that have websites and YouTube channels use block lists, but that's a conversation for another time. The story begins with Chakotay crash landing and finding himself in the middle of a war zone. He is discovered by a people who call themselves the Vori. These soldiers have been fighting a species they call beasts, or, and I've said this 3 times, the Nemesis. Though the official name of these people is the Kraden. It's kind of ironic because these people have been so othered, so made different.
This Nemesis of yours, why do you call them beasts?
It's told they all wear the same horrid face. Their flesh is gnarled and blistery like the rotting trunks.
They aren't humanized, for lack of a better term. At first, as I've discussed, Chakotay is resistant to all this. He's wanting to go and do everything on his own. This isn't his battle, so he's trying to keep his distance. He isn't getting in the middle of their fight, it's not his war. But then notice what happens here. They treat him very well. They say he isn't like the faction they're fighting.
His glimpse is too tame to be a Kraden. He's no Nemesis, is he?
I'm not certain what he is, sir.
Weren't you drilled to fathom the Nemesis?
He has good in his heart. He's upbeat. He's trustworthy. They take him in. They offer him protection. They want to help him. These people aren't like the Nemesis, the beasts. They're the good guys. During an entire scene, the Vori are extremely kind to him, but constantly talk about how horrible the enemy is. Interestingly, we've never seen the enemy. No idea what they are like. We're just told how horrible they are and what their worst attributes appear to be. He only has the Vori, his quote-unquote friends, to tell him what the enemy is like. Chakotay, a reasonable person, is caught within this echo chamber. He doesn't have a way to leave. When he wants to go it alone to find his ship, the Vori don't let him. They send somebody with him.
I appreciate the offer, but I'll be fine on my own.
You don't fathom the trunks and you don't carry arms. One of my defenders will walk with you.
After all, the Nemesis is everywhere. It's really for your own protection. You need to have a Vori with you in case you run into one of these beasts. You never want to be alone without someone there to protect you, after all. It'd be a shame if you had to meet them one-on-one and form your own opinions. Throughout the tale, Chakotay continually only gets one side of the story, and a highly idealized side at that. The Vori are a nice, loving people that only ever want everyone to live in harmony. They want peace. They have no faults of their own. But those they are fighting, these evil people, they came in and took the Vori's land. The Nemesis don't listen. They take everything others care about and they just desecrate the people. They don't care about a person's religion or what they believe. They're out for their own. They're out to hurt the other person. And I can't be certain, but if you read within the context between the lines of the dialogue, they also may be against mail-in ballots. However, we find out at the end of all this that it was just propaganda, all lies. Now true, Chakotay is drugged, but that's something that has a deeper analysis, and we'll do it in that other video I was talking about. We're going to focus on the lies themselves. The lies that were told to Chakotay, he really believed. He was taught that anything and everything that isn't Vori is an enemy, is the Nemesis, and that includes the crew of Voyager. And I think this is one of the most key things of the episode. Everyone should get this point.
Yes, Commander. How can you wear those colors?
Tuvok had no interest in the war and wasn't picking sides necessarily. He just wanted one of his crew members back. However, because he was wearing the colors of the Nemesis, he became one of them. What better allegory in our lives today is there? Because Tuvok had shown that he was, in some small way, aligned with the Kraden to even the smallest degree, he was considered to be one of them, full stop. Tuvok honestly didn't know which side was right, nor was he really choosing either. He just found himself agreeing more with one specific goal with the Kraden, that was to find Chakotay. And because of that, all of the sins of the Kraden that may or may not have happened are bestowed upon him. Hell, in social media, I'm sure the people were yelling that Tuvok was #FandomKratom, and the #WeAreVori crowd was exceptionally pissed off. We are also told, even with the Kraden helping, that they may not be the good guys either. And that's something that's left unknown to everyone because both sides are so focused on destroying each other that the truth is very hard to ascertain. And honestly, they both might just be a different part of the same coin. At the end of the day, this is a great episode on what happens when you are only presented with one side of the story, and how there also may not be a right side, but everything's morally gray. It is absolutely a must-watch for any Trekkie that assigns themselves a hashtag or any human being who lives in our world. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Lore Reloaded.
Get some sleep.
You'll tend me, won't you? No matter what comes in soon after?